welcome you to the No Cap Sports Show podcast, where sports and combos collide. Your host, Fredo, Mo Money, Jay Will, Mills Lane, and Kobe, the co-returner. Authentic, unapologetic, no edits, no cap. Let the convo begin.
Sports Show podcast where sports and convos collide. I am your host, Fredo.
I'm your host, Mo Money.
I'm your host, the Cobra.
Hey, man, we -1 tonight, man. Jay Will is at a Bible study convention in Compton, California. So, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we may be able to get him back next week. All right. So, he's at a Bible study convention. So he wanted to go ahead and put that out there for you guys tonight, man. So, pray for him. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Doing good, bro.
That's what's up, man. I'm feeling your background, Kobe, man. I mean, you got the virtual look and everything, man. That's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah, man. Space age, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm talking about. What up, Mo Money?
What's going on, fellas?
I can't call it, man. I cannot call it at all, man. Hey, did you guys take a look at the Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals the other day? Boston, Miami?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, man, let's get to it, man. Tell me give me your thoughts, man. For real. I mean, dang. I mean, we was just talking about Jimmy Butler the other day in terms of, hey, is he a superstar at the end of the day? And then those last 3 games was like, man, didn't look too good. Then he come back at the end and, you know what I'm saying, put on a nice performance. Although I thought Caleb Martin should have got MVP. But go ahead, what do you guys got?
Oh, man. So as far as Jimmy Butler being a superstar, I'll get to that in a second, but I think we witnessed another Boston massacre, man. That's like the 3rd or 4th Game 7 these boys have been in, and they haven't come through. It's because their games overlap too much, man. They remind me of 2 very talented, like, AAU players. Like, you can see the talent that's on the floor, but it just doesn't mesh well because they do the same things. You know, essentially, I think that Jason Tatum would be better complemented or suited with a big man that could offset his game, set screens and things of that nature, or a point guard who could feed him the rock, like a la Chris Paul. And Jaylen Brown may be suited to actually be on a team where he's featured. I think that Jaylen Brown could do more offensively. Good call with Jeff. They live and die with the 3 when they don't have to.
True story, Jeff.
They got 2 guys who can get in the paint at will, but they don't. They settle for 3s a lot of time. As far as Miami, you got to give them all the credit. Fred, I would agree with you on Caleb Martin. He made some plays, but we got to call a spade a spade. He don't get those looks if it wasn't for Jimmy Butler.
Facts.
Jimmy Butler allowed Caleb Martin to operate in that space because they were keying on him. You know, all the defensive schemes were jaded towards him. You know, they would trap on the pick and roll and different things of that nature. And as far as him being a superstar, I think we mix terms a lot of times when we say the term superstar. They're transcendent stars. A la Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. Those guys are transcendent, meaning that they could play in any era at any time, and they're going to be the face of the league. Jimmy Butler's not that. He's just a superstar. He's a star among stars. And when he plays other stars, especially in the playoffs, he's going to rise to the occasion every single time. He's been doing it since he's been in Chicago. I mean, if you look at Minnesota has only made the playoffs 2 times in 20 years. And Jimmy Butler was a catalyst of that. You saw what happened when they lost Jimmy Butler. It took them to get Anthony Edwards. Then you go to Philadelphia. They haven't been as far as they have been without Jimmy Butler. They look like they were going to be perennial championship caliber team. And Jimmy Butler leaves, they don't look the same.
They chose Tobias Harris.
I mean, it is what it is on that one. But that's my take on it, fellas. I mean, Joe Mazzulla, of course, he got out coached, but I mean, Eric Spoelstra gonna do that to a lot of coaches. So I don't blame Joe in that situation. He knew, and Eric Spoelstra been doing it for what, 2 decades. So, you know what I mean. It is what it is.
Yeah, I thought I was surprised by Game Seven. I think that Boston, had a little a hurdle to leap over after Tatum got hurt on the first play of the game.
Yeah.
And that kind of took a lot of his offensive way, and definitely he was a liability on defense. Um, but but I mean, to piggyback off of what Mo said, I mean, you live by the three, you die by the three. We saw it happen to Golden State against the Lakers. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Growing up as a ball player, that's all we ever heard. Of course, we didn't shoot as many threes back then, but they always say you live by the three, you die by the three. And
That's facts.
I never really thought that Missoula was a good coach. I don't even think he should have been put in that position. I think they should still have Udoka as their front man over there on the sideline. But when I saw his post game interview and they asked him, do they need to do something other than shooting all those threes they was taking, he was like, no. Right there, that just
Told
confirmed
you
to
everything
me,
you need.
you know what I'm saying, that he's clueless. Like if you somebody like Tatum, he's
Right.
about he's about 6'10".
Mm-hmm.
He can do everything. He's athletic, and you just shooting threes. To me, you're bailing out the defense.
Yeah.
You bailing them out.
Every
You know
time.
what I'm saying? Because you have the ability to put pressure on the defense every time down the court. You can get to the paint, you can get to your mid range, mix it up with the three. But he wants to be a 90% 3-point shooter and a 10%, rest of his game. And that's not going to work. And we credit him as a superstar. He first team all NBA. But you got to think about just let's take the playoffs this year. How many games was he in single digits this year in the playoffs? It was at least 3 games
Good point.
that
Yeah.
I can recall. And if you're a superstar, that shouldn't happen. Not in a playoff situation. So for somebody to kind of try to minimize what Jimmy Butler is, that's bananas to me, because Jimmy Butler has shown you year in and year out that he can play with the best of them, and he can will his team to win. Um, Look at this year. He had a duel with the Greek Freak, beat him. Had a duel with Tatum and Brown, beat him. And that's the same in 2020 when he led his team to the championship in the bubble. I mean,
Right.
he's shown you what he can do as the leading star of a team, and he makes everybody around him better. Everybody, just like what Mo said, Martin doesn't play as well as he do without Jimmy Butler making that possible. All the attention going to Jimmy Butler. Miami is already a team that doesn't score a lot of points, so opposing teams naturally going to say, okay, we stop Jimmy Butler, they're done. But what happened is they focuses on Jimmy Butler, and these other guys can play a little bit. They can knock down open shots. They can mix it up. And what that did was make them look better than what they really are, because they get to play one-on-one, or they getting wide open shots. And that's because of the presence of Jimmy Butler. And you gotta give him credit for that. I get it. Some people, I think it's the optics of Jimmy Butler. He doesn't have the look
No,
and
no
and,
player.
and, and the playing style of the superstar
Right.
that to our liking. But if you look at his resume, you put it up against somebody else's resume that we do credit as a superstar, he's as good as anybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then as far as Tatum and Brown, I was a supporter of them staying together, because you got two young stars
Right.
that 25 mid 20s, and yeah, I just don't want them to break that up, just because where are you going to find two young stars like that can grow together? They already been through the fires. They've been to the conference finals. They done been to the finals. It's just a matter of time before they get over that hump, in my opinion. And I know Jimmy Butler struggled 2-3 games in the Eastern Conference Finals, But you got to remember, this is the same team that made Kevin Durant look mortal. You know what I'm saying? They made Kevin Durant look mortal offensively.
They did.
So I mean, so
They
so
did.
what are we talking about here? I mean, even in Game 6, Jimmy Butler had a horrible shooting night. But if you take just that last 2 3 minutes, what did he do? He put his team on his back, got them a lead with 3 seconds left, and a chance to close out that series in Game 6. To me that's a superstar when you can have a terrible game for
Right.
45 minutes and then all of a sudden come alive and give your team a chance to win. And then come back Game 7, brush that game off,
Money.
Right.
and lead your team to victory. And he called it. He
He
told them,
did.
Yeah,
we're
he
gonna
did.
win this thing. Matter of fact, he called it last year. He said we're gonna be in this position again next season, and it's gonna be a different result. And look where he is now in the finals of the NBA playing against the Denver Nuggets.
What's the tennis player name? Coco
Coco Golf.
Oh,
Coco Golf. Yeah, he had a conversation with Coco Golf. What I think before the playoffs or what have you, just asking her, hey, do she want tickets or what have you to the NBA finals, man? I'm like, damn, he called game way before then, bro.
Yeah.
That's what's up. But let me throw this back at you, Kobe, and it's basically in terms of what Mo Money alluded to earlier, because you said that you like to keep Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum together. I mean, they've been together almost 6-7 years. I think they got 5 Eastern Conference Finals or what have you. I mean, if you are head of the organization of the Boston Celtics, are you paying Jalen $300 million over 5 years?
I would if I can't get anything in return that's just as good or better. And it's hard to find someone just as good or better to get to add to that roster. Now, if all the rumors are true about getting somebody like Dame Lillard, I'll do that in a heartbeat, right?
Right.
I'll do that in a heartbeat.
You
But
too, Mo?
I mean, what are the alternatives? We talking Dame, we talking Brad Beal, we talking Anthony Davis. What are we talking that's out there? If it's just Dame versus the field, of course. But if I can angle if I'm Boston and I can try to get an Anthony Davis, then of course he's more of a seamless fit next to Jason Tatum. You know, and then if you're the LA Lakers and you're looking at Anthony Davis's injury history, I would probably do that as well. So I mean, to Kobe's point, if it's not Anthony Davis, Dame Lillard, or even a Brad Beal or somebody of that caliber, I'm not just getting rid of Jaylen Brown to get rid of him.
So you would go straight up for Brad Beal?
It wouldn't be straight up. They're gonna owe me some draft compensation because I don't think it's.
So you basically saying that you're saying that Wizards would have to give up draft compensation plus give up Brad Beal. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely,
Okay.
because I believe that Jaylen Brown is a player. Well, I think he's younger. I have to do my research.
He's 26 years old. He'd be 27 in I think October.
Just off that fact alone, where the trajectory is at, he fits with Washington's timeline. If you look at what Kyle Kuzma's age is at, if you bring back Porzingis, he's a better fit right now what they have going on in Washington. And then Brad Beal is Jason Tatum's best friend from the days in St. Louis. So I think it would work on both sides because now with Brad Beal, he's a guy that can take you off the dribble,
but that can play off the ball.
He's more of a 2 to Jason Tatum's 1. You know, he's more of a complementary player. They don't play the same positions. Brad Beal is a natural 2-1 in certain situations, whereas Jaylen Brown is, you know, he's a 2, 3, 4, depending on. So to echo Kobe's point, it has to be equal compensation. We're not just getting rid of him to get rid of him.
Yeah. What you think about that, Cobra?
No, I think that's right on the money. But I would really consider keeping Jaylen Brown. I mean, how many NBA franchises have been to the conference finals 5 times?
Yeah.
In that short span that he and Tatum has been together. I mean, you just have to think that sooner or later they're gonna get over the hump. And everybody thought it would be this year, but sooner or later they will get over that hump together. I just think that they need to be more creative of putting the right pieces around those two.
Like for what? Like for instance, what for instance? What would you do?
Well, I think that it's time to move on from Horford,
Mhm.
right? And they need to find a younger, more capable big. Um, I think that also um, another, well, a point guard that's
Right.
more seasoned. You know what I mean? I
Think the same thing.
from what I understand, I would get rid of both of their point guards if I
Uh,
get somebody like what's my man from Toronto Raptors?
Fred
oh, you
Van
talking about
Vliet.
Fred Van Feet?
If
Yeah.
I can
Van
get
Fleet.
somebody like Fred Van Fleet to add to Brown and Tatum, wow.
Yeah.
And then you add a young big man that's a rim protector and rebound and can finish when you dump it down to him. You looking at a championship team
So
for years to come.
you're not confident in Williams.
I like Williams, but it needs to be somebody. You need to have somebody at that four spot. That's a dog. You know what I mean? That's a dog that can do some things. Because right now they really play small. If you think about it, they play small. And when Williams and Al Horford is in the game, that's their big lineup. But Al Horford is older now. He's pretty much a 3-point shooter at this point.
Facts.
I think you need somebody that has a more attacking mindset instead of somebody that's going to be out there stretching the floor, shooting threes. Because why are you going to stretch the floor if your best player is not taking advantage of it and driving to the hoop? I mean, we watch game after game and we see every time Jason Tatum put his head down to go to the rim, he's successful. And I don't understand why these players don't see that. I watch NBA games all the time. I'm like, my man, you can get to the rim, you can get to your spots whenever you want. Why bail the defense out
By them
shooting
three.
a three? You
Yeah.
know, man, I just don't understand it. And but the knock on Brown and Tatum is the same knock that people thought D Wade and LeBron would have. You know what I mean? They play similar. They both need the ball. They both drivers. You know, they're gonna be in each other's way. But what Miami did was do a great job of putting the right pieces around them where it fit.
Right.
But Kobe, one thing about it though, somebody had to take a back seat. So in this relationship, who's gonna take that back seat? You understand what I'm saying? I think that's the other part of it. Dwayne Wade said, "Lead me, LeBron.
Right.
You are the dog here. I'm gonna follow your lead." Somebody has to say that in Boston, and it just seems like I'm not in the locker room. I don't know them, but it seems like they don't want to do that. Like
No.
that's naturally it should be Jason Tatum because I believe he's the more talented player, but maybe that's not his personality. I think that's part of the problem too.
Right.
Somebody naturally in that relationship has to kind of lead, and the other one follows off of that person. I also think the offense is wrong. If you're gonna have them together, you need to run more of a Princeton style or a triangle style offense where Jason Tatum is featured on the block. When the ball goes up, it goes into him, and then we can spray. Because at 6'10, he plays the three, sometimes the two, sometimes the four. Either way, he got a mismatch. Because if it's a true four, he's too quick for him. You can pull it back out, run a different set. If it's a three, he's too big. He's 6'10. He has great, impeccable footwork, a great shot. He would be like MJ or Kobe on that block. That's the offense they would kind of need to run around Jason Tatum, but it's got to go through Jason Tatum. It can't be my turn, your turn, because
Yeah, that's
that
the
doesn't
problem.
work. That messes up the flow of the game.
And then not only that, and to piggyback off what Mo was saying, Cobra, if you're going to keep those two together, and let me tell you something, man. Jaylen Brown got to work on this left, man. He got his left is shaky, bro. I don't know what he need. Yeah, I mean, I know he's up for that bag or something, but he definitely need to work on his left hand, bro. Every time he tried to go left off the dribble, bro, that's an easy turnover right there.
Yeah.
Bottom line, yeah. I mean, bro, you've been in the league 6-7 years, man. That can't be happening at this point in your career, bro. You definitely got to work on it. I see major improvement every year, but in terms of his handle, yeah, he got to tighten that up big time.
Yeah.
All right, let me ask you guys this, man. We got Denver and Miami, man. Game 1 tomorrow night in Denver, bro. I think Joker is gonna have about 50 up in that joint, man.
Absolutely.
Wow. Tell me what your thoughts are, fam.
I'll let Kobe lead this, and I'll let the last one, but yeah.
All right. Well, on paper and from the eye test, you would think Denver just going to run through this series. That's just the obvious opinion,
Mm.
about this series. And yeah, Joker will have his way because we all know that Miami is small. Bam Adebayo is an undersized big man, and he's been playing like trash.
He sure
You,
has.
you
Thank
know
you.
what I'm saying? So it's going to be a tough series for Miami's interior players. And then, are you going to put Jimmy Butler on Murray? Because if he have to guard Murray all game, that's going to take a lot away from his offense, if you ask me. So they got a two-headed monster out there in Denver
Okay.
that
Okay, Jeff.
I just don't know if Miami, from a talent standpoint and from a physicality standpoint, can keep up with a Denver, because it's not just Jokic. They start 2 6'10s in that starting lineup as well.
Yep.
I mean, what you gonna do with that? I mean, look, they had trouble boxing out Boston and keeping them off the boards. What do you think Denver going to do? Those dudes gonna crash the board. They're gonna get so many putbacks, and then if you miss and you get the offensive rebound, who's gonna be open on the perimeter? You got KCP, you got Murray, Brown can shoot the three. So I mean, it's gonna be a tall task for Miami. They have kind of similar philosophies, but just Denver is like a supersized version of what Miami is.
Yeah. One thing I'll tell you that Denver has to look out for. I don't know if they were doing it because the Lakers didn't shoot 39% like Miami does, but they got to tighten up their perimeter defense because they're really quick to get out in transition and to crash the boards. They do both. That a lot of times they don't close out with the veracity that they need to. And if they do that against Miami, that's what's going to keep Miami in the series. Another thing to watch out with Miami is they don't play man to man. So it doesn't really matter who's guarding who because they play a zone. Like it's a very quick matchup zone. They don't really allow you to get into the paint. So either one or two things gonna happen. Denver gonna crash the party and put Jokic in the middle of that zone, and he gonna go for 80 points, right? But by doing that, that will mess up the natural flow for the other shooters. Because one thing about shooters, and Kobe is a shooter, he could tell you that hand do get cold if you don't touch that rock. So if that ball ain't flowing and you ain't shooting, that could mess up the flow of your offense as well. If you just play your matchup zone and let Jokic do what he do, he is not going to outscore the Miami Heat by himself. Like that's the nature of it. So it'll be very interesting to see what Eric Spoelstra can do. Miami been underdogs the whole playoffs, and I've been steadily surprised. So I'm not going to count them out. All that being said, I'm right there with Kobe, man. It just don't. It's not a good matchup on paper because Mike Malone can coach too. I think Eric Spoelstra been getting by outside of the Knicks series. I think he's been out coaching a lot of these coaches in the playoffs. He kind of met his match with Tom Thibodeau a little bit. That was probably the best matchup they had. It's just that the Knicks didn't have enough horses in that race. But him and Tom Thibodeau, they were having a back and forth. It was good. It was good basketball.
It was.
But
Yeah.
just New York don't have enough talent. So it'll be very interesting. But, man, that being said, I'm going to tell y'all right now, man, it's the No Cap Show. I ain't watching none of these damn games live unless it's the weekend. I'm not waking up or I'm not staying up on no Thursday, no Tuesday night to watch Miami and Denver. Y'all can hate me. People from Denver, people from Miami. I don't care. Even if it ain't the Lakers, it ain't the Celtics. I'm finna record this thing and then I'll watch it the next day.
Hey, man. No, I
But
get it.
I just want to respond to something Mo said.
Go ahead, bro.
He's right. Miami does play that matchup zone, and they try to keep folks out on the perimeter and make you shoot the shots they want you to shoot. However, one thing that kills a zone is ball movement and body movement, and nobody does that better than Denver.
Sure,
Right.
you're right about that.
And then when you got a 7-footer as your facilitator of that, he can see over the defense. We
Sure
already
can.
said that Miami is small. He can see over the defense. I think he's going to pick them apart with the pass, and then he's going to pick his times where he's going to take over offensively, because we all know when he's ready, he can play big boy ball. You know what I
And
mean?
bully ball on top of that.
Yeah,
Right.
straight bully ball. So that's going to be tough for Miami to defend. And then another thing I think is going to be the tail of the series is Miami leads the playoff in points off of turnovers, right? They average 20 a game off of turnovers. Well, Denver doesn't turn the ball over. They're number one in the league in terms of not turning the ball over. So where will Miami generate points from if they're not getting points in transition off turnover?
True.
That's true. That
That's
is true, man.
But guess what, man? You know what? Udonis Haslam, Zeller, they both got 12 fouls. I'm taking this back to the 90s. I'm putting them in. I'm telling you, look, man, I don't care. I elbow them. Do what you got to do.
Yes.
Put a couple screens. We ain't playing you anyway. You might as well go in there, get you 6 fouls, and rough up Jokic a little bit, play with his mind. Because we've seen how that works out for Jokic. The last time somebody played those kind of games, it didn't work out well for him. Dwight Howard got in his head when Dwight Howard was done at that point in his career.
And don't forget, like I said, I think you got Tyler Hero coming back as well. So
but he won't be back until game 3,
Right.
and they'll be they'll be down 2-0 by then.
Oh Lord,
that is a fact. Now, one thing I will say about Denver, like playing Miami versus the Lakers, I think that Miami is in much better shape than the Lakers were, and they're a little younger. So they could still win in Denver. I just don't feel like the Lakers even had a shot just because their legs was gone. By the fourth quarter, those guys, they were huffing and puffing. Their legs was gone. They just didn't have it. But Miami is probably the best conditioned team in the NBA.
Yeah, that's true. And the Lakers had a 50-year-old man, their best player, trying to play 40-something minutes. I mean, that's that's not a recipe for success. You know what I'm saying? No. And I do believe that Miami is the better shaped team and a younger team, and they can run for a full 48 minutes. However, I want to see, especially in game 1, how they'll be able to handle that altitude in Denver.
Oh my God!
Because the altitude is real in Denver. People think it's just some fantasy, but it's real. Like, it's
you
hard
been to Denver before, Mo?
So small story, man. Not to go on a tangent. I actually was supposed to be stationed in at Fort Carson, so I went up there. Yeah, from the time you step off the plane, you feel it.
Bro.
It ain't made up like Kobe Bryant.
Gasping for air.
Yeah, well, the air a little thin or something, man. You feel it. It just the air tastes different. You know what I'm saying? It's different up there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Hey, Just Smith said, and the roller coaster disappeared. Yeah, good point. You're right. Exactly. All them damn mountains and stuff like that, man.
Yeah.
All right. So look here, guys. I've been thinking about something, right? And like I said, I talked to my bro the other day. We was going back and forth on this and stuff like that. I was like, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and put this out in the atmosphere, man, and see exactly what everybody else think, and definitely want to know what little big bro Kobe think as well. So look here, man. Without further ado, I want to know, or should I say, give me your top 5 NBA serial killers of all time. Now, for the viewers and listeners out there, we're talking about between the 94 feet in terms of basketball. We're not talking about any violence or anything like that. So we don't want nobody to take anything the wrong way. Yeah,
Summer City, yeah.
Jeffrey Dahmer. No, we ain't seen no. He didn't make this cut, man. No. We talk. Hoop heads know exactly what we talking about. Top 5 NBA serial killers of all time. Okay, Cobra, go.
Ooh,
dang. Jordan, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
You saying of all time?
Damn. Of all time, bro.
Isaiah Thomas.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm gonna go with Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Okay.
And last, even though
make sure we write this. Make sure you write this down.
Okay, and last, even though it's contrary to popular belief, I'm gonna say LeBron James.
Okay.
Okay.
And
All right.
and and the reason why I say LeBron James because he's a different kind of killer. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? He kills you softly.
Okay.
Like,
So he's a serial killer that kills you softly.
yep.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we look at killers. So you look at Jordan and Kobe. That's you can say that's old dog. They old dogs, right? You know they killers when you see them. You know they killers. You gonna run. You know what I'm saying? Because you
Okay.
know you know what's about to happen. But with LeBron, you know you. I know you watched the movie where you have a serial killer that has a family, go to work every day, but at night he out there collecting bodies and you never even know it. And,
Yeah.
and that's
Body
what,
snatching.
yeah, that's who LeBron is. Like you don't even
Okay.
know he's killing you, but he is.
Cause we gonna break this shit down. We gonna
All
break
right.
this shit down.
All right. That's what's
What you
up.
got?
Boy.
What you got? More money?
Man, like obviously Michael Jordan and Kobe gonna be on everybody's list. So
Mhm.
Kobe already done called him. I'm gonna let him have MJ and Kobe. So for me, it's Dwayne Wade,
Oh.
serial killer. I went back, and this is a guy, believe it or not, and I had to look it up. Bernard King is a serial killer, man. He don't get no love. He don't get no play from nobody.
Hey, man, that.
we,
Ooh,
we forget
that's a
about
good one right there.
it.
I forgot
um,
somebody too, but after Mo go, I forgot the main person. My bad.
another serial killer from my era was Allen Iverson. He ain't get no
There you go.
championships.
That's who I forgot.
Hey, but he was a dog on that court, man.
Hmm.
Um, another killer, man, that ain't get no championships was Reggie Miller, man.
Mm. Okay. Okay. I ain't
Hey,
mad at that.
and
I
then
ain't mad at that.
last but not least, man, this is one of the most disrespected players in NBA history. We never talk about him. Akeem Olajuwon was a straight killer.
Okay. Okay.
He never intimidated. You know he gonna show up, give you that dream
Right.
shake. Made me fall in love with the game of basketball because I didn't like Michael Jordan. So
All right. All right. Let me give you my 5. So, number 1, I got Michael Jordan.
of course,
Okay.
Number 2, obvious, Kobe Bryant. Number 3, I got Larry Bird.
oh yeah,
Ooh,
I seen too
I
much
like
footage of it. I seen
I
it.
like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. 4, I got Allen Iverson.
Mm-hmm.
5, I actually got Giannis.
Mm,
I actually got Giannis. Now, before everybody goes on the tangent in terms of why I chose Giannis over Tracy McGrady or what have you, and a couple other players, my my definition of a serial killer is, they never shied away from the moment. Win, lose, or draw, they didn't run away from the moment whatsoever. You understand what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, they most likely they deliver. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And not only that, they always kept their foot on your neck from the first quarter all the way to the end of the fourth quarter. To me, that's my definition of a Don serial killer. No matter what, they kept coming, they kept coming, they kept coming. The reason why I didn't put LeBron in my top 5 as a serial killer, because we can go back to, like I said, we can talk about what he did in 2007 against the Detroit Pistons when he dropped 47, 49. That's all good and dandy. That was great, right? His career was on the trajectory in terms of from that point. But then we can go to Miami, 2010. I think they played against Dallas Mavericks. He ran away from the moment. And like I said, that is stuck in my head. He ran away from the moment. And you know what I'm saying? And you two guys, you saw that series, you know just as well as I do that he ran away from the moment or what have you. That's why I didn't have him in my top 5.
So going back to that series, I don't see it as him running away from the moment. What I did see, he was exposed
Mm-hmm.
in terms of what he could do offensively. I think it was a perfect defensive strategy on him, and I think that was the first time where they was forcing him to show that he had a perimeter game,
Okay.
and also a quick twitch game, meaning off the dribble, pulling up mid range. That was something that he wasn't really comfortable doing at that time. And, he never faced a team where he couldn't just have his way and get to where he wanted to just because he's so strong and so athletic. He never had that type of resistance. But what that made him do is go work on those weaknesses. And as we saw over the course of his career after that series, is all of those weaknesses that he didn't have them anymore. Because San Antonio tried to do the same thing that they did to him in '07, and that what Dallas did to him in 10, and it didn't work. You know what I mean? They gave him the shot. He took it with confidence, and he knocked it down. And then another thing, I think his mindset is a pass first player, right? And he doesn't have that attitude like a Jordan or Kobe would have had, where they would have came onto that team like, this is my show, this is my team. LeBron not like that. He has a lot of respect for D Wade. We already know that. That's
Right.
his boy. Is Wade County. He was like, this is your team. I don't
But he
want
gave him the keys though. But
I don't wanna
Wade
step on
did
your
give him the
toes.
keys.
because he knew he had to.
Yeah.
Because he knew they wouldn't win the championship if LeBron wasn't LeBron. As soon as he got those keys in his hand, he turned the car on and he was going $150.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, my thing, bro, is this. Like I said, nothing against LeBron whatsoever. Like I said, look, I got to stand by, my point in terms of that. And I definitely agree with you, Kobe. Yeah, he worked on those weaknesses as well. Yeah, he was exposed in terms of his outside shot. But as I recall as well, and we don't have to elaborate on too long, like I said, he was scared. He was even scared to go to the free throw line. He was even scared to shoot free throws and stuff like that. That right there, I can't imagine. And like I said, this is not going into a Jordan argument or what have you.
Right.
But that right there, I can't imagine Michael Jordan doing that. I can't imagine Kobe Bryant doing that. I can't imagine Larry Bird doing that. I can't even imagine Allen Iverson doing that. They don't. You know what I'm saying? My version of serial killer is basically this, guys. I'm coming into somebody's household, a family's household, and I'm sitting at the head of the table while their husband is sitting there looking at me, and I'm eating his plate, and I'm making love to his wife right in front of him. That's what I'm talking about. I hate to put it out there like that. That is my version of serial killer, man. It's to the extreme to the extreme in terms of what I just stated.
Well, I mean,
go ahead, Mo.
Now you got Giannis on the list. Giannis was absolutely scared to go to the free throw line earlier on in his career. Like, that was a guy, like, I agree with you with Allen Iverson, Kobe, Larry Bird. They're score first players, to Kobe's point. Like, that's just not in LeBron's nature. But Giannis was absolutely scared early on in his career. Like, let's not get it twisted. Even this last series, I don't think Giannis wanted to go to the free throw line. Like the series that he lost to Miami.
He just came back off an injury too, though, Mo.
But I'm just saying.
Hold up. I want to add to what Mo is saying. Look at all the years that Giannis failed, especially in the playoffs, because his game was so limited. You remember they used to build a wall and let's see what you can do. He couldn't do nothing, and that was a lot of years. And Fred, you talking about 1 year in LeBron's 20-year career where you can point to 1 year, one series where you can point to and say LeBron didn't come up big in a playoff series. Just one series out of 20 years that you point to. And to me, I respect a man that goes through the challenges that he went through and came out on top of that, because that situation would have broke down a lot of people. Like, they wouldn't have been the same after that, just mentally. Confidence is everything.
Right.
And if somebody else went through that series like he did and got all of the attention from the media saying he didn't do this, he didn't do that, that would have broke your average person. Look at Nick Anderson when he missed those free throws. He was never the same.
Facts.
Never the same. So you gotta respect somebody who comes out on the other side of that in a successful way. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta remember,
it's good perspective.
And you gotta remember, most people consider a killer to be somebody who scores 40, 50 points. But you got to remember, LeBron, he kills you with the pass as well. You know what I mean? He does everything. He kills you methodically. He doesn't just kill you with, okay, I'm going to take the ball, I'm going to take this game over and drop 50, 60 on you. He do it methodically. You know what I mean? You like, all right, I'm going to cut you in your leg first. You know what I mean? I'm going to break your arm. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the day, all right, now it's time for a headshot. And yeah, maybe he does it in a nicer way than what Jordan or Kobe would do it. He might kill you and just say, "Hey, I'm sorry I did that to you, but I had to. You know, I'm trying to win the
Right,
championship."
right. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's the same result.
Yeah, I tell you what.
Go ahead.
Two things, Fred. One thing about the serial killer thing, it's a great analogy because that's what LeBron remind me of, a serial killers in one of them 80s slasher movies. He gonna keep coming back. The second thing I want you to ask yourself, and all those Eastern Conference teams for 9 straight years, was LeBron a serial killer? When he was going straight through the Eastern Conference.
Okay, I mean, bro, who the hell was he playing against, bro? I mean, come on, you know, the Eastern Conference was like straight water back then.
I'm
man.
glad you said that because I knew you was gonna say that next. But the West was strong, right? So it was so strong that it made Kevin Durant go across the Golden State Bridge and join a 73-9 team. That's how much of a killer LeBron was, because they both recognized that they needed each other. After they saw that series, when LeBron averaged down to 40 points a game, they was like, man, we ain't beating that version separated. We got to get together.
It was a watered down Eastern Conference, Mo. You and I both know that. Kobe know that as well. That Eastern Conference, who the hell was he going against? What? Indiana? Really? You know what I'm saying? With Paul George, Roy Hibbert? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
LeBron leave the East and Toronto win the championship. That tells you
that was easy. I'm not taking. Look, that's not LeBron's fault. At the end of the day, I'm not saying it.
It is LeBron. It's LeBron's fault that Toronto didn't win all those years. You got to remember, Toronto came into a lot of those playoff years as the number 1 seed because they had the best record in the East, like at least 3 years.
But as you and I both know, that regular season shit, you can throw that shit out the window at the end of the day, bro. You and I both know that.
But what I'm saying, Fred, they didn't lose to anyone else but to LeBron James led team. Who else did they lose to? Nobody.
Right. And like I said, I'm not putting that on LeBron at the end of the day. It's not his fault. You know what I'm saying? If he played against, like I said, subpar teams opposed to in the West. That's not his fault. He beat who was in front of him. I'm not saying that. Hold up. But it goes back to the same damn argument that you guys will say against like Michael Jordan in terms of who he, in terms of the championships that he won, that they didn't play anybody. So I mean, if we gonna call it that, we're gonna call it both ways at the end of the day.
I never said that.
No, you didn't say that. I know.
In Michael Jordan's era, right?
I said it, goddamn it.
Hey,
that man right there said it.
If you look at the class of '84, right? And you look at the championships won, Michael Jordan was slashing everybody's throat, man. Like it wasn't even close with his class, and that's one of the greatest classes of all time. Michael Jordan reigned over that class,
84 and 96, you're right.
And he reigned over a little bit of them cats in 96. They better be glad that the Bulls broke it up because they could have kept going. You never know if they would have been a Lakers and a Spurs championship because that Chicago Bulls, they just had the magic. But the thing is, I think sometimes we think it's watered down or we think it's easier just because of the prowess of those players. That's how good Michael Jordan and LeBron James were. They at the peak of their powers in their eras, they were unstoppable. Literally. There was nothing you could do to stop MJ. There was nothing you could do to stop LeBron. When he figured it out, second version in Cleveland, when he had 3, he had the mid-range, he had the post game, he thought the game through, he had the confidence. There was nothing you were gonna do to stop him.
And they both did it on the defensive end as well.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Just true. No, man. I mean, like I said, great. Why you got KD in there as a serial killer?
Yeah, I did just for.
Yeah, you don't feel too confident about that, do you?
No.
Yeah, you don't feel too. You didn't even feel good when you said it.
I didn't.
Okay, so look here. We give you another chance right now. Would you like to replace Kevin Durant?
I would like to replace him with AI.
Okay, hey, there it is, bro. I mean, I felt it. Your spirit was just telling me that, you know what, you didn't feel good about what you said in terms of putting KD in your top 5 in terms of a serial killer.
Hey, one thing for certain in life, we always do stuff that we don't want to do at least once.
And I get it, bro. And like KD's my guy and stuff like that, but I get it. He's not in my top 5.
Can I get a serial killer for 1 year, man? Can I get that Steph Curry 2022 version?
Hey, they do call him the
babyface assassin for a reason.
Hey, if he got that nickname, you got to say he a killer.
Hey, that 2022 version, man, if you could just bottle that up and sell that thing, man.
Yeah, bro. Put that shit on the market for real. I know exactly what you're saying.
Steph was on a mission last
He
year.
sure hell was, bro. And it was nothing that he was letting get in his way whatsoever, man.
Nah. It ain't even no defense for that Steph Curry. Like,
ain't had you can't defend that shit. You can't.
He's shooting from the logo, man.
Yeah, that's the problem with these AAUs right now, stuff like that, bro. They looking at the shit that he's doing for real. But yeah, that's another subject for another day. Hey guys, our last question before we go ahead and get up out of here, man. And I thought about this, and I wanted to get you guys' perspective in terms of this particular subject matter. Hey man, what happened to the black TV show, man? What happened to the black TV show? You remember when we came up, and I know Mo, you're a couple of years younger than us and stuff like that, bro. But you know, we had the Good Times, the Family Matters, My Wife and Kids and stuff like that. But now you look at it, everything is Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Love and Hip Hop, motherfucking Utah. I don't know where this shit. I don't know what it is now. But it's like, man, what happened to the black family show? That doesn't exist. Now I know we had Grownish and stuff like that, and I really love that show. But other than that, man, I mean, unless you guys enlighten me on it, I don't see it anymore, man. What's your thoughts about that, guys?
Well, you gotta ask yourself what happened to, like, it's a different market now. So when I grew up, I had the Jamie Foxx show, the Steve Harvey show. It was a lot of shows, 101, all of those shows that
101.
Yeah, all of them. They were all black, and they came on the WGN. But I think the platform has changed now with YouTube and all of those different things. It's just we're not sitting around watching cable television. Like, you have so many networks and outlets now that we watching a lot of things, right? And they probably get more bags from those shows that go on to YouTube and things like that. That's one thing. But you got to ask yourself, the second thing is, what happened to the black producers? If you looked at a lot of those shows, they were produced by black producers. I don't know.
Not Good Times.
Say again?
I don't think Good Times was. I think it was a white person.
But he had black influence, though, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of them, if they were like the main producers, they had somebody in the room, like a Robert Townsend or somebody like that. Those days are gone. Like, I don't know what happened with that part of it. That's the connective tissue. And then the third thing you got to ask yourself, is that what society want to watch? Coming up, that was something that, we kind of look forward to, a character like Jamie Foxx. These days in time, is that what today's youth or the demographics that's watching TV, is that what they want to watch, or do they want to watch Love and Hip Hop?
Right, but let me ask you this. Let me combat. I mean, I'm not combating that, but let me throw this out there for you guys, though. The reason why I brought this up, because I understand what you're saying in today's market and stuff like that, and with all the social media and the YouTubes and stuff like that, easy access or whatever, however you want to put it. But I look at it totally different, man. It's like I'm looking at the actual black family, like, what I'm saying, taking the father out the house and stuff like that. That's not expound upon, what I'm saying, in these so-called reality shows or what have you. Everything is just, I don't know. It's different, man. And it's like, I feel like they're taking that away. I don't know who, but I feel like in terms of, from a show standpoint or a producer standpoint, that doesn't exist anymore. And I'm just, I like to see us put in a different way. There are black, beautiful families and stuff like that with the husband and wife and the kids and the picket fence and stuff like that, or or middle class or however. That is not put out on Front Street anymore. What you say to that, Cobra?
Real quick, Kobe. Let me respond to that real quick.
Okay, bro.
I don't know how familiar y'all are with history, right? And what they told us as people. If you put it in a book, black people would never know it.
Facts.
Well, today's book is played out in videography, right? So if I told you and I showed you what an example of getting money looks like, or what a family looks like, then you would aspire to be that. But if I don't show you that, then you're going to live a manifestation of what you see. Honestly, even it goes bigger than that, Fred. Like, we look at how ways to get money. We know is most people, they want to hustle. They want to do this. Man, you can earn so much money from stocks and trading. Nobody talks about that. It's the same way we don't talk about what a family looks like with a man being the head of a household, a woman being by his side, or vice versa, however you want to get down to your household. But we don't paint that picture because we
No,
don't
we don't.
want you to have that example. That's what it is. It's a fact. Like, I'm gonna give you some foolishness so that you can be culturally conditioned to have that foolishness. Or like my boy John Morant, thinking that you gotta, show guns and things like that because that's what society wants you to do.
Good point, brother. Good
Yeah.
point, man.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know what happened to the black show. Maybe because we have so many options now. You know what I mean, and everything is widespread that it's not really a market or audience for them to create those type of shows, because I don't know the last time I watched a regular TV show anyway, like on your standard channels.
Okay.
I can't even remember. The shows that we watch now that we consider black shows are the Powers and
Good
BMF
point, Jeff.
and Snowfall, stuff like that. And then there are a couple good family shows that I like that's on Netflix, like the show with Mike Epps. Um, that's an excellent show. And then also with the lady, the comedian Miss Pat. That's also a really good show. And if you look, if you kind of go through the different platforms or different apps, you can find some, but I just don't think there's any patience for the audience now to wait every Tuesday to watch a sitcom or a show like we used to watch back in the day. Because
Okay, but they put
we
okay,
only
but
had
bro,
we only had a handful of channels.
right, but hold on, bro.
You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
but
TV.
right, but
Yeah.
they put something on. I don't know when it come on every Sunday or every Monday. Like I said, whether it's they shove this down your face, whether it's a love, and this is no disrespect to love hip hop or what have you, but they put all these different series together and stuff like that where everybody thoughting it out or what have you. I just don't like. Sometimes I think it's a hidden agenda. You know what I'm saying? And it's somewhat to what Mo said, you know what I'm saying? It's a hidden agenda behind it, or what have you. And I just think that we're not, as black people, we're not getting it. We're not seeing it. You know what I'm saying? We're not. And we're being exposed in a different light. And that's all. You don't see any damn white loving hip hops. You don't see that. You don't see that type of shit. You don't see, you know what I'm saying? You don't see, and it's nothing against white people at all. Just want to put that out there to the viewers and listeners out here. We're not racist in any way, shape, or form. But we don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't see nothing like that. We just see us, just always out of character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With the bullshit.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, and that's what I'm just, you know what I'm saying? You see females, you see what? The housewives, and you see these females fighting each other, cursing each other out. There's nothing, they never display us in any positive light whatsoever. You understand what I'm saying? And that's where, I would like to see shows put together where we're put in a positive light. You know what I'm saying? We're not cussing each other out. We ain't calling each other, you know what I'm saying, a bitch, you know what I'm saying, a whore and all this other stuff. And then the male figure leaving the damn household and stuff like that. That type of shit is portrayed out there, bro. And I'm like, man, this is how y'all see us as black people? No. That's not all you're going to get.
Yeah. I mean, I'm honestly, it'll take us taking a stance on something like that. Like the late Jim Brown and his era, right? They pretty much literally put their lives on the line for us to have cinematic rights, because prior to that, it wasn't too many African Americans in film work, right? But we'll do anything for a bag, Fred. That's the problem. Like, you'll compromise your integrity,
I ain't still my damn soul.
Your morals, your values.
Right, that part right there, Mo. That's what it is right there. Selling your soul, you know what I'm saying? You're right, man. Putting your morals and your integrity, everything on the line for a goddamn bag and stuff like that. And then everybody think that we all act like that.
But you gotta think about, this is a new generation as well.
Yeah,
true.
And the things that they like. And the way that they portray their everyday lives in real life. That's a reflection of how they move. You know what I'm saying? If you show a show like A Different World or Cosby Show now, they'll be like, man, get these square diamonds up off the TV. You know what I'm saying? They trying to see something else. they want the ratchetness. You know what I mean? They don't.
Bro, you just said it. That's what's selling, man. The ratchetness.
Yeah.
Just straight ratchet, man.
That's true. Hey, Kobe ain't lying, man. Hey, he ain't lying.
I tell you, to be honest, I don't watch none of it. I used to watch the reality shows like when they first hit the scene, but then it just got. I mean, every time I watched, I felt like I left the TV dumber than what I was before I started watching it. I'm like, I don't feel right. Let me go read
I like
a book.
that one, bro.
Yeah, let me go read. Let me take a class or something because I feel stupid right now. It's just I don't get it, but I mean it is what it is. If that's what's bringing the audience, getting people to turn on your station and sit in front of the TV, people going to do whatever make them money. You know what I'm saying? And we're doing it. We're giving it to them. I mean,
Right, but then okay, so let me add this,
we
Kobe.
can't blame one side if we're active participator.
Facts.
And then we're worried about why our kids are fucked up and stuff like that because they see this type of ratchet behavior and they see it 24 hours, you know what I'm saying, 24 hours every day, all day and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the type of shit that they portray, you know what I'm saying, as if this is the way we're supposed to act.
Yeah, that's true. So we had a show and Mills was on. Shout out to Mills. I know you're doing great things out there, girl.
That's right. That girl about to win a damn academy. Let's get it, Mills. We'll see you next week, boo.
We talked about positive influences in the home. And I said that no matter who you were and what kind of father, mother you are, the culture is going to raise your kids at a certain point. It takes a certain mind to live above cultural conditioning. So if the culture is set at a certain bar, that becomes the standard. And ratchetness, silliness, all of that right now is the standard, man. Like you said, it used to be a certain time. I know I don't want to get off on no tangent, but you used to have to date a girl for like a month. But you always had some fast girls out there. But for the most part, right, you used to have to date a girl a month. You might even have to go meet her mom, her dad, before you could take it to the next level, right?
Right.
That ain't the case no more. That ain't the case no more. So it's just different times with the morals. But what the girls lose in that lessons is by taking those steps and all of those necessary dates and you were respecting somebody and you were getting to know them. It's sad when you lay down with somebody and you don't even know his middle name. You can't even put him on child support because you don't know his full government name.
Yeah, you know I mean, it go both ways too, Mo. We ain't shit. So a lot of us ain't shit neither. So I mean, yeah.
Hey, but we been ain't shit though since the beginning of time. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure there was a caveman with 3 wives. You know what I'm saying? That's the truth though. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's why fathers back then and mothers told their daughters to walk in a certain light. Men had never been shit like that. I'm just keeping it real. Like I'm just keeping it real. Like it's up to the women to check us. Because if you let a dog be a dog, he gonna be a dog all day. He gonna be the best dog you ever seen. But if you put him in check, you put that collar on him. If you worth it, then he gonna act right.
Ain't nobody put no damn collar on me.
Say, all right, you married, don't you?
You must be home alone tonight.
Ain't nobody put no damn collar on me. All right, man. Any final thoughts, man, before we get up out of here, family?
Man, hey, final thoughts is enjoy this NBA basketball while it lasts, because that boring ass baseball is around the corner and it's a long time to football. We are now entering into the cold zone of sports. Where they about to start talking about all kind of bullshit on TV. We're gonna see hot dog eating contest, iguanas on ESPN.
Damn Joy Chestnut.
That's the GOAT. That's the GOAT.
I know, right, Cobra. Yeah, you're right. So hold on. To piggyback off what you were saying, Mo, that's why the NBA season needs to start in November, man. It needs to, football and NBA needs to run concurrently together. Bottom line, it should not be a 30 or 45 day gap in between, man. Those are the worst 45 days of my life. Bottom line, let alone the Nationals ain't doing too much. Now the Orioles, they doing a little something, but yeah, it is. You're right. It is the dog days of summer. You are absolutely right.
Hey, real quick before Kobe go, man, motherfuckers gonna have 1,000 Laker trades just making. They got no sources, nothing. They're just making up content, man. They're like, hey, D'Angelo Russell's baby mama, sister, cousin said he going to the Heat. You know,
No bullshit, for real. Yep, you right, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and get my NBA draft board together right now, man. Shit. What you got? What you got, big little bro?
Like I have nothing, but I'll piggyback off of Mo. During this time of this dry season, I would just take the opportunity to kind of explore and find some other sports to learn about. I mean, track and field is all year round.
Yeah.
Everybody know I'm a tennis fan, so tennis is all year round. You know, pay attention to some of those sports because there's some amazing athletes in those sports, and I think that you'll be extremely satisfied with the product that they put out.
Facts.
Yeah, that's facts.
All right, bet. Hey, Mo, get us on out of here, family.
What's the cat name from DC, man? What's his name? Shout him out real quick. The tennis player. He from the DMV area. I thought he's African.
Oh yeah. My gosh. What is this? What is his name? Kobe.
Tiafo.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm about to say Joe. Hey, Kobe. I'm about to say Joseph Tiomo. He played for Georgetown. I'm about to mess it all up for real.
And they might be the same person.
Hey, what up, BA? All right,
late as always.
Up out of here, Mo, bro.
Hey, family. We enjoyed y'all. Come back and see us soon. We'll be breaking down the NBA draft pretty soon, so make sure you get your content together so you can compare and contrast with us. And in these dog days of sports, like we just talked about, if you don't want to tune in to tennis, drag racing, or anything else, you can come up and keep up with us, fam.
There it is. All right, guys. Good night, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
There are 4 fouls on the play.
That's why it took so long.
Running into the kicker, number 34.